Hi, I'm Mari.
I'm Maury. Welcome to Our Stories. Our Stories is our very own online video broadcast for the Domain Country Club.
Here we can share the stories that belong to us and get to know a little bit more about the people who live in our community.
There is always something happening, isn't there, Mari?
Oh, yes.
At the Domain, so we hope to give you a little more information about events coming up and ways you can get involved in our community.
Our first segment in this episode is our resident story. In this segment, we ask of the residents here at the Domain to share a little bit about their life story with us.
Mari, isn't it interesting finding out about a person's history and how they ended up living here on the Gold Coast? Our first resident story is going to feature my mate, James Queen.
Jim came to live here at the Domain about 2 years ago, and he sure can tell a story or two.
We hope you enjoy our resident story with Jim Queen.
Oh, everybody thinks I'm younger. They do. I don't know why it is, but they also, oh, you know, you're not 97. I bloody feel it. I was born in Scotland, in a place called Dundee, and I was 1921. Prahran during the Depression was very rugged. They called it Struggle Town, actually. We used to go down Albert Park Lake, which was only about 1 kilometre from where we lived. We used to go yabbying, catch the yabbies on the end of a bit of string. The tram went round the corner very, very slowly. We used to throw the yabbies into the tram and see if we could upset the people in there. And yeah, we would get dog poo, put in a brown paper bag, put on the doorstep, set fire to it, and then ring his doorbell. He'd come out and stamp on the bag, and you know the consequences from there. There was an old lady called Mrs. Jury, and she had a sort of, not a boarding house, but a house, but she took in boarders. And she had this guy called Paddy Butler, and she asked him for the rent. Instead of giving her the rent, he gave her a punch in the nose and broke her nose. And she come into my dad, and my dad, he loved to fight too. So he went in and he broke this Paddy Butler's nose, plus other bits and pieces. On the following morning, this gang, about 4 or 5 guys, were at our back gate to come in our back gate, and they're going to have a fight with my dad. And my dad had a pick handle. My dad said, come in one at a time, and he said, I'll have you with my hands. He said, I'll come in all together, have you with the pick handles. And in that instant, Squizzy Taylor arrived. This gang was his henchman. Anyway, he said, what's going on? My dad told him, took him and showed the lady, and he just come into our place and brought in some beer and had a drink with my dad and my uncle, sent all the other guys away, and he gave me 2 shillings. And I wish I'd have kept that. It would have been, because he was a notorious crook. He got shot 12 months after in a shootout with Snowy Cutmore. During the Depression, there wasn't any money coming into the house, so I left school at 12 and I got a job giving out junk mail. I went to a soap factory, Tilly's Soap Factory, and I was pressing soap for a while, and then I didn't like that, so I give that up. And I rode up the road and I got a job in a garage. And I was working in a garage for quite some time, and one of the guys there, he was a traveller for Liddy's, the fibrous plaster company. He said, would you like to be a plasterer? Like to be apprentice? I said, oh yeah, that'll be all right. So I got apprentice, and I worked for that for about 40 years and never got a gold watch. I was married for 68 years, which was nice, was lovely. Good wife, yeah. And, Susanna's my great-granddaughter, and I've got several others because they're running around everywhere. How many have we got? 5.
You've got 5 great-grandchildren.
5 of them, yeah.
And you have 3 grandchildren and 1 child, and then you helped raise your own brother, your little brother. Well, since Gramps has moved into the Domain, he's come from someone that lived a very solitary life after my nan passed, and now we can't even book in time to see him because he's too busy and has too many friends. He goes to every activity, sees every person, does anything that he can, and then we just have to pop in when he's around, which isn't very often.
Oh yeah, went down swimming, and Mari was down there and said, "Do you do bowling?" I said, "No." She said, "Do you dance?" I said, "No, not really." And I said, "Oh, you've got to get involved in all these things." And at any rate, eventually I started bowling and swimming and card playing and Mexican dominoes playing. And what else do I do? I do everything. Carpet bowl. I do the lot.
If you were going to give advice to somebody who was young about how to live a long life and a fulfilled life, what advice would you give somebody?
I know, plenty of sex. No, I just live my ordinary life. I just live my life. And I smile at people. That's what I've been taught to do. If you smile at someone, they'll smile back at you.
Jim sure was a rascal in his day.
Yeah, not much has changed there.
I don't think so. I think he still is. Our next segment in this episode is going to be the staff spot. In this part, we will get to meet some of the staff at the Domain and hear about what they do here.
Our first staff spot will feature our manager, Andrew Keating.
My name's Andrew Keating. I'm the Retirement Living Community Manager. I've been here for about 18 months now and love it thoroughly. The parts of the job I enjoy the most are the residents, interacting with them, being part of the community, be able to go around, seeing people in their own places, attending events with them and making sure that they're all okay. There are a lot of improvements that we have at the Domain, and a big one at the moment is the bowling green. It's just had the whole top surface taken off. It's going to get replanted. It's about a 2 to 3 month process, and that's quite big for the bowlers. They're looking forward to a brand new green, and it's going to give them a lot of challenges. So if people see me around the property, I always say to them, stop me, love to have a chat. I'm always available, I'm a good listener, so I enjoy that part of the job, but also it's keeping in touch with everybody. And those little chats are good for the residents and they're great for me.
Mari, our next segment is called Top Tips.
Wow, are you going to give us a tip on the races?
You would not want to hear them, believe me.
Oh, damn.
What we really mean by top tips is a chance to hear from one of our residents about a skill or talent they have.
And our first guest resident is going to share his skills in bocce.
This is where I bow out because my main interest is in the lawn bowls.
Yeah, but I got my name on the trophy, you haven't. Well, lucky for us, Charlie is our bocce expert. Here he is now to tell us more.
My name's Charlie and I'm a member of the Bull Club here at the Domain.
Hello, my name's Glenys and I'm the spokesperson for the bocce group here at the Domain.
And Bull first started in 1850 and they call it petanque for some reason. Same game, done by elderly people who wish to enjoy themselves playing the game.
We meet every Wednesday and Sunday at 4 o'clock and we have mixed games, 4 or 5 of them.
It can be played in pairs, triples or fours, and it's a great game to relax and have a good time.
Look at that! Oh, you have! You little beauty!
Technique is you can bowl underarm like Griggy Chappell did, or you can bowl overarm as a game of boule and petanque.
My preferred technique is underarm rolling of the ball. I find it much more accurate. The Bulls group's been going for about 3 years, just over 3 years now, and about 3 months after we started, one afternoon this scooter came down with this elderly gentleman in the seat and he climbed off, came over and said, can I come and join your Bulls group? And we said, of course, you'd be very, very welcome. And it was Jimmy. And he's been a real asset to the group ever since. We have sandwiches made by Faye, and he brings them down every week without fail. And it's really wonderful. They've been a real good asset to us. And we'd all love to see you here. As many of you would like to come. Thank you.
Bocce is one of the many activities here happening at the Domain. Mari, you're on the social committee.
Yep.
Can you tell us more?
Yes, there's a very active social committee, and there's so many things to do here at the Domain. For the people that love cards and those type of things, it goes on every Monday. We also have tennis for the active people, and croquet. They play croquet here. And once a month we have our bingo. Many people enjoy the bingo. And then, of course, the main things for me, I love dancing, is we have happy hour, and then we have music and dancing and lots of laughter. And of course, once a month we have our themed dinners. You can dress up. Sometimes we have funny things to dress as, and we have an outside musician, lots and lots of dancing and laughter. And of course, the great thing is when Maury comes and does his song of Lucky Lips. Then, of course, we have the bus excursions. Every time we have some great ones. The bus driver takes us places. If you like to find out, just get our Domanion, read the Domanion, see what's in it, because on the back page we have a calendar with telling you everything that goes on.
Let's take a look now at some of the things that have been happening around the place in preparation for Christmas.
Yes, Christmas.
Now we hope you've all enjoyed the first episode of Our Stories.
And we've learnt a little bit, or quite a lot, about the people we live with and call our friends. Thanks to them all.
Now I think it's time, Mari, I can say to you a very Merry Christmas.
And a very Happy New Year.
Chin
Chin
chin.
chin.